Jacob Battaglia has had a blazing hot start to the season. Coming off the Calgary Flames training camp, he is among the league leaders in goals and assists, making the most of every shift.
Rebound hop to Soto. He wants to spring Battaglia and will. Jacob Battaglia on the forward backhand scores! A beautiful move from Battaglia, and he opens the scoring for Kingston.
What has it been like with the team and the mentality as you guys just continue to ramp up?
We come to the rink every day and trying to get better. We stick to the systems that our coaching staff is putting in place for us, and so far every game that we've either won or lost has been, well, I guess every game we've lost has been pretty tight, so we know we have it in us. It's just about completing the effort throughout all three periods, even the fourth period sometime in overtime, just about, finding that go-ahead goal or keeping a lead. So I think we're in a very good spot right now. We got tons of time to kind of clean it up and go ahead.
How do you go and balance that energy levels that you need to have? You talked about that fourth period, even in some circumstances. Is it a shift-by-shift basis, or is it when I'm out there on the ice, I give it everything I got?
Yeah, I think it's more the shift-by-shift. Just not worrying about your last one or your next one, just worry about what's in the moment. Especially maybe you go out and have a bad shift, can't overthink about whatever you just did because you're going back on the ice probably the next 1 or 2 minutes. So you got to be able to bounce back, and I think that's why we've found a little bit of success so far, and I think we will, as a lot of guys know. We're an older team this year as well, so a lot of guys have been through the experience of just, you have to let some things go and move on. So I think towards the end of the year, like I already mentioned, I think we'll be okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that veteran feel to the team. A lot of these guys, they have a lot of experience. How do you think that makes for a change in the locker room environment, and especially at practice?
They lead by example. We have, I think, 13 combined 04 and 05s this year, so that's more than half our team of guys that have been around the league for 3, 4, 5 years even. So they've all been through it. They've all been on different teams, different areas, so they understand how the league works and how the different teams work of putting together a push for the playoffs and stuff. So I think just having them around the room and on the ice at practice is super helpful to the young guys. Even still a guy like me that's still, only in their third year. They just lead by example, and they kind of have an answer for everything. Like, you ever struggling, you can go to the older guys because they've probably been in the exact same position you've been in. So,
speaking of learning from people with experience, you also went to the Calgary Flames camp. Can you speak to that experience and how it affected you and helped shape the start to the season?
Yeah, it's definitely an eye-opener of how much faster and stronger and smarter everyone is. They're just at that next level that, it's a thing. There's obviously a next level and everyone's better, but you don't really know until you're there. My teammate Luke McNamara, who was also there, we both kind of found out just how much better everyone is. Even the prospects, we were practicing with the prospects, and even those guys, they're just at that next level. You really find out when you're practicing and playing against them that, even when you think you have a jump on them, they probably already thought about what you're going to do, and they already know what to do. So it's definitely a pretty cool experience to bring back, and just understand that now when you're back here, you can kind of take those things, you can play at a faster pace because you've been there. You take a lot of things back of habits and just how much faster the game is.
You talked about them looking and understanding what you're going to do before you do it. And I'd argue that that's exactly what you're doing out there on the ice. Your vision compared to a lot of people out there, it feels like you're 3 passes ahead. How do you go and manage that when you're out on the ice? Are you just constantly scanning, or what are you thinking about?
I don't know. I don't really think about too much when I play. I just kind of go out and just have fun and play hockey, really. And that's just, I don't know, I guess it's something that comes naturally. Can't really, be taught to when to make a play or not. It just depends on the situation you're in. So it's always been something kind of natural, just instinct to make the extra pass or find a guy open. Especially, it makes it easier when you play with guys that all of you guys are on the same page. So especially playing with Soto, I played with him last year, and playing again with him this year, I know the areas he's going to be in, he knows the areas I'm going to be in, so it makes the game that much easier. Obviously if you pick 2 random guys from 2 different leagues around the world and throw me on a line with them, it's probably going to be a little harder because I don't know their habits or what kind of play style they play. So when you have those little helps that make the game way easier for you.
Do you have a measure of risk versus reward? If you see a few defenders in front of you, knowing your options, how do you weigh it, and does the score ever take a big factor in that?
Yeah, I think if the game's 2-1, we're winning 2-1, there's 2 minutes left in the third period. Probably not going to try and take a guy 1-on-2 or take a 1-on-1. But if it's in the first period 0-0, trying to get some momentum, like, sure, I mean, I feel like that's kind of part of my game is taking a risk, and I feel like that comes with the confidence that I play with of, believing in myself that I can beat a guy 1-on-1 or drive a guy wide and make a play after. So, the score and the time definitely comes into account. But I think, again, it just comes back to the confidence level I play at and just believing in my skill and knowing what I can do. So,
can you speak to the lethality, I guess you could say, of your assists versus goals? You're constantly putting yourself in a high danger position while pulling in 2, maybe even 3 guys to your position. How do you recognize those plays, and is that something that you're drawing up in practice, or is it strictly in the moment?
Pretty much in the moment, to be honest. I think it's, again, just reading and reacting and not overthinking the play. Like I said, I don't really think too much. I just kind of go out there and play. So I think that's what it kind of comes back to is just, if I feel there's 3 guys on me, that means, at least 3 guys on our team are open. So, there's got to be an opening somewhere. So just, again, knowing where my players are going to be, knowing our team system, it definitely helps, especially when guys are sticking to the system. And, if I know Soto's going behind the net, just throw it behind the net, and he's going to be behind the net. If I know Hopkins pop into the middle in the dot, I know he's there because that's our system. So it just makes it easier, especially when guys are all on the same page. And obviously in practice it helps too when we get those repetitions and kind of get the plays going.
If you had a young fan that comes out to the game supporting and watching your play style, what is the number 1 tip you could give them if they're trying to replicate it?
Just have fun. There's a lot of kids that I think it even comes back to the trainers and the parents are just putting so much pressure on them at such a young age of, you have to be this, you have to be that, because there's so much media nowadays of little kids doing Michigans and stuff. And I'm like, you don't need to be doing that. As long as you're having fun, and you're just loving the game, I think that's the biggest thing. I have a little cousin right now who's, I think he's 7 right now, playing tyke hockey. It's I tell my uncle all the time, don't overwork him. Don't put him on three sessions a day, 8 skates a week. Just let him go out and have fun. The second he starts doing that and loses fun for the game and loses the love, it's just kind of over. But if you keep that love up and keep it fun and entertaining, the kid wants to get better. So that's just what I would tell a fan. Just love the game. Just have as much fun as you can every time you have the opportunity to.
That's perfect. Thank you, Jacob.
Thank you.